Hey everyone, it's Mike from Wichita. I've got some fitness thoughts that have kind of just been bouncing around in my head for the last week, and just wanted to put a video together to kind of share those and see what you think. Let me know in the comments if this makes sense to you or if it doesn't, and I'm the only one that thinks like this. But anyway, this is what I've been thinking about. So, for I don't know, the longest time, decades maybe, when I first found out about it, I have really been obsessed or infatuated, maybe that's the right word. I'm not real sure. I'm sure there's plenty of adjectives to describe it, with the Appalachian Trail. And if you're unfamiliar with the Appalachian Trail, it's a hiking trail that runs from Georgia all the way up to Maine. And I believe nowadays it's like close to 2,200 miles or so. And I regularly watch YouTube videos on the Appalachian Trail and videos of people that are currently hiking it, and and look up some of the towns and stuff they're in just to find out more kind of about these remote mountain towns and those type of things, and if I'd ever want to visit them someday, and just really kind of get into it. It's kind of just a side hobby of mine, and I also like to read about it too. If there's magazines, so I don't, they don't really do magazines anymore, but when I was younger, I used to pick up hiking magazines and stuff like that. And I've just always had this romanticization. I think that's the right word. If I said it right, I apologize. With hiking the trail, I don't know, probably how people back in the day, they romanticized the West, moving out to the West and finding land and raising crops and horses and hunting bison, all those things that go along with that. And, obviously people did that. They did move out west. But, as a Midwesterner, it's kind of sometimes you wonder exactly what they were uh, thought when they got out here, especially to a place like Kansas, which is pretty flat. There are nice areas. I mean, there's the Flint Hills and stuff like that. It's not all completely just flat lands, but it's not a New York City or an LA or anything like that, remotely close to it. But regardless, so with my romanticization of the Appalachian Trail, the reality is I will never, ever hike the Appalachian Trail, which may sound a little crazy. And it's not due to any physical restraints or anything like that. It's just got to do more with the taking the concept of hiking the trail and actually putting it into action. And what I mean by that is you got to sleep in like a tent or a shelter or hostels, or I don't even know, maybe on the side of the road or something. I've seen some of that too, or even in public bathrooms or something, if it gets too cold or anything like that. And that is a big no for me. And, it's the same thing. You go to shelter and there's other strangers there and stuff like that. And don't get me wrong, from every video I've seen on the trail, everybody looks like they're always getting along, and it's always exciting to meet other people doing the through hikes, which means they're going all the way through, or section hikers just doing a certain part of it, and everybody seems super nice. But in my wheelhouse, that's just not something I would really feel comfortable with, and I would just get really burned out, especially if it's raining or fog or heat or whatever. But sleeping in a non-bed night after night, just, oh no, I couldn't do it. And then that's only that's only the practical stuff. Then you throw in ticks, mosquitoes, throw in the weather, cold, windy, rain, all over long periods of time. That's just a big nope for me. Throw in some physical elements like some blisters, sore feet, those type of things. And it's just not my thing. I have done overnight hiking before. Was able to do that out in California one time on the Lost Coast Trail, which was just an amazing experience. But I also realized after those 2 nights being out there that this just wasn't my long-term thing. And there would be no way I could ever hike the Appalachian Trail because there's just not, I'm just not built for that. And honestly, I would probably get bored just every day waking up and hiking. Now, granted, I mean, yeah, you can mix it up. You can do, some people do 20 miles, some do like three. It just kind of depends. But I just don't know if I have the fortitude to be out there for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, a whole year. I don't know, however long it takes to hike the trail. And so obviously, I'm jealous, not in a not in a biblical jealousy, but I'm just jealous that people have the fortitude to be able to go out there and have that experience because it's just something I'll just never do. Now, I may maybe go out there and hike a couple miles or something like that to say that I've been on the Appalachian Trail, but I will never just do a straight through hike as much as I have a obsession with it. It's not going to happen. And kind of where I'm going with this in relation to fitness is that I think you can take a lot of that of the concept and putting it into action into how to sustain a active, healthy lifestyle as I age, and I guess as other people age too. We all age, but you can look around and see what the concept of what people think physically fit and healthy is. I mean, it's everywhere on the internet, magazines, the TV, and whether that's the big bodybuilding, muscle development type thing, or the lean shredded physique, it's everywhere. YouTube videos, they all tell you how to do it. And then on top of it, I think we all have in our head or our mind kind of what we could look like and what we consider ourselves to be as the as our top physique, or how our physical fit healthiness, what that looks like to us. And it kind of just reminds me of an Appalachian hiker trying to reach the top of the summit there in Maine after they've all hiked that. And the challenge I have, and this is going to be my ongoing daily challenge with fitness and where I'm at currently, but much like hiking the Appalachian Trail, where there's the nuts and bolts of it, it's the same thing for me when it comes to a healthy, active fitness lifestyle. I've got to make sure I've got my kind of daily food intake plan figured out, what exactly I'm going to have for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I try my best to do that. I got to make sure that I'm counting my calories. I don't obviously count them to the T, which a lot of people do, which is fantastic. I like to live life with it as well too. So you won't find me weighing any, proteins or starches or anything like that. But I like to have a general idea of where I'm at when it comes to my food intake. And, obviously making sure I'm getting my gallon to 2 gallons of water in. Probably just prefer to be around a gallon. I've said that a lot of times. And then, and making sure that every day trying to get some type of physical activity, some movement in, whether it's taking a walk, walking up the stairs, whatever it may be, and then getting to the gym. And you've also got the other option too, where you got to make sure, I'm not rolling up to the Dunkin' Donuts, getting a 12 pack of donuts, or the 20-piece McNugget with sweet and sour sauce for McDonald's. Because if I let myself do that, I could probably eat that. Not necessarily the donuts, way too sugary, but McDonald's 20-piece. I could probably do that several times a week if you let me. But I know that I can't do that because it's just not going to help me achieve an active, healthy lifestyle, much like, somebody on the Appalachian Trail. And so every day I got to work on this in and out. I got to work on just the nuts and bolts of the daily grind. And I got to come up with ways with how I'm going to accomplish that. Okay. Hopefully, this will help me maintain the sustainability and consistency. But I appreciate you lifting. I appreciate you doing cardio. I appreciate your rest day. And it motivates me. And that's sometimes just what I need, is that other people are in this too. So have a great day. I hope these thoughts weren't just a huge ramble and it went absolutely nowhere. Like I said, feel free to leave a comment in the section below if you ever feel this way. And we'll get after it again tomorrow. Appreciate it.